Tonight, a powerful and dangerous storm is churning in the eastern Pacific, taking direct aim at the southern coast of Mexico. We are talking about Hurricane Erick, a formidable Category 4 hurricane that has organized itself into a menacing threat in a very short amount of time. A hurricane is essentially a massive, rotating storm system with a low-pressure center, strong winds, and a spiral arrangement of thunderstorms that produce immense amounts of rain. These storms form over warm ocean waters, drawing their energy from the heat and moisture like a giant engine running on the sea. For the people in its path, Erick represents a significant and life-altering event unfolding right now. The designation Category 4 tells us just how serious this situation is. On the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, a Category 4 storm packs sustained winds between 130 and 156 miles per hour. These are winds capable of causing catastrophic damage, capable of ripping roofs off well-built homes, snapping or uprooting most trees, and rendering entire areas uninhabitable for weeks or even months. Erick is not just another storm. It is a major hurricane, a classification reserved for storms Category 3 and above. Its approach is a solemn reminder of nature's immense power and the vulnerability of coastal communities when faced with such a direct and potent threat. What makes Hurricane Erick particularly noteworthy tonight is its potential place in history. According to meteorological records that go all the way back to the late 1950s, Erick could become the first known Category 4 hurricane to make landfall in this part of the eastern Pacific before the month of October. This is an unusual and alarming development, suggesting a season that is not only active, but also producing storms of exceptional intensity earlier than is typically expected. The 2025 hurricane season is already proving to be ahead of schedule, with Erick being the fifth named storm, a milestone we usually don't see for another month. As we track its final movements toward the coast, the sense of urgency is palpable for millions of residents. A hurricane is more than just wind. It is a multifaceted weather event that brings a host of dangers with it. It pushes a wall of ocean water ashore, known as a storm surge, which can flood coastal areas with devastating speed and force. The rain it carries can be measured in feet, not inches, leading to widespread flooding. And the winds themselves can turn everyday objects into deadly projectiles. For the states of Guerrero and Oaxaca, the hours of preparation are over, and the time to face the storm has arrived. The story of Hurricane Erick's power is one of astonishing speed and a process that meteorologists call rapid intensification. This is a phenomenon where a tropical cyclone's maximum sustained winds increase dramatically in a very short period. Consider this timeline. Just on Tuesday morning, June 17th, Erick was a modest tropical storm with winds of only 40 miles per hour. It was a storm to watch, certainly, but not yet the monster it would become. This rapid growth is fueled by a perfect combination of environmental factors, including extremely warm ocean waters, low wind shear, and ample atmospheric moisture, which all acted as high-octane fuel for its engine. By Wednesday, the transformation was well underway. Within a single 24-hour period, Erick's winds surged from 50 miles per hour to 100 miles per hour, officially crossing the threshold into hurricane status and continuing to climb. But the storm wasn't done yet. It continued to feed on the favorable conditions, its structure becoming more organized and its eye more defined. By the early hours of this morning, Thursday, June 19th, it had reached its peak as a powerful Category 4 hurricane. This explosive development left little time for coastal communities to prepare, highlighting how quickly a seemingly minor disturbance can evolve into a life-threatening meteorological event. This process of rapid intensification is one of the biggest challenges for hurricane forecasters and for public safety. While track forecasting has improved immensely over the decades, predicting the intensity of a storm remains a complex science. When a storm strengthens this quickly, it can catch residents and authorities off guard, escalating the danger significantly. It means that a storm once perceived as manageable can suddenly become a major disaster in the making. The journey of Hurricane Erick serves as a stark case study in the volatile and unpredictable nature of these powerful ocean-borne storms, demanding respect and vigilance from all who lie in their path. Tonight, Erick stands as the strongest tropical cyclone we have seen in the northern and western hemispheres so far in 2025. It is a testament to the perfect storm of ingredients that came together over the eastern Pacific. The deep, warm ocean waters provided the raw thermal energy, while the calm upper-level winds allowed the storm to develop its vertical structure without being torn apart. This allowed Erick to not only form but to thrive, growing into the symmetrical and powerful behemoth that is now threatening to bring historic and devastating impacts to the people of southern Mexico. The science behind its growth is clear, and the danger it presents is imminent. All eyes are now on a specific stretch of Mexico's southern coastline, where Hurricane Erick is expected to make its destructive landfall within hours. Forecasters have pinpointed the most likely area for the storm's center to cross land in either western Oaxaca state or the eastern part of Guerrero state. This region, located to the east of the well-known resort city of Acapulco, is now the focal point of this emergency. Conditions in this landfall zone are expected to deteriorate with alarming speed as the storm's outer bands begin to lash the coast, followed by the arrival of the eye wall, where the most powerful winds and heaviest rains are concentrated. In response to this grave threat, authorities have issued urgent alerts. Hurricane warnings are officially in effect for significant portions of the coastlines of both Guerrero and Oaxaca. These warnings are the highest level of alert, indicating that hurricane conditions are expected within the area. This includes the major city of Acapulco, which finds itself directly within the warning zone. To the east and west of this primary impact area, hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings are also active, signaling that dangerous conditions are still possible, even outside the direct path of the storm's center. These alerts are not a suggestion. They are a critical instruction to protect life and property immediately. While the exact point of landfall will determine where the absolute worst impacts are felt, the storm's effects will be far-reaching. The most devastating winds and the highest storm surge are anticipated along the coast and just to the east of where Erick's eye moves ashore. This means communities in western Oaxaca and eastern Guerrero are bracing for a direct hit. Even a city as large as Acapulco, which may be spared the eye wall itself, is not in the clear. The city is still forecast to experience powerful wind gusts, particularly in elevated areas, and will be subjected to the torrential rainfall that accompanies a storm of this magnitude. The storm's forward motion means that this will be a fast-moving event, but an incredibly violent one. After making landfall later today, Thursday, June 19th, the hurricane is expected to weaken rapidly as it interacts with the mountainous terrain of southern Mexico. The friction from the land will rob the storm of its energy source, the warm ocean water, causing it to fall apart. Projections show that Erick will likely dissipate completely by late Thursday night or early Friday morning. However, the legacy of its passage, the flooding, the mudslides, and the damage, will remain long after the winds have subsided. The most widespread and life-threatening danger from Hurricane Erick is not just the wind, but the immense volume of water it will unleash. Forecasters are predicting staggering rainfall totals across the states of Oaxaca and Guerrero. Widespread amounts of 8 to 12 inches are expected, which is enough to cause severe flooding on its own. However, in some localized areas, particularly where the storm's rain bands stall over the terrain, rainfall could reach an astonishing 16 inches. The AccuWeather Local Storm Max is even predicting a potential for isolated totals to climb as high as 20 inches. This is a catastrophic amount of water that will overwhelm rivers and drainage systems almost instantly. This deluge poses a severe risk of life-threatening flash floods and devastating mudslides. The coastal regions of Guerrero and Oaxaca are characterized by steep mountainous terrain that rises sharply from the sea. When this much rain falls in such a short period, the soil becomes saturated and can no longer absorb the water. This can trigger sudden and fast-moving mudslides, capable of sweeping away homes, roads, and entire communities with little to no warning. For residents living in mountainous areas or in low-lying river valleys, the danger is particularly acute. These secondary effects of the hurricane are often more deadly than the winds themselves. Alongside the rain, the coast will be battered by a powerful storm surge. This is the wall of seawater pushed inland by the hurricane's ferocious winds. Projections indicate a storm surge of 6 to 10 feet above normal tide levels is possible near and to the east of where the center makes landfall. This surge of ocean water will inundate coastal roads, homes, and businesses, causing extreme erosion and destruction. Combined with the devastating winds of a Category 4 storm, the coastline will be a scene of chaos, with flying debris and rising waters creating an incredibly hazardous environment that is simply unsurvivable for anyone caught outside. Tonight, the message to everyone in the path of Hurricane Erick is clear and simple. Your safety must be the #1 priority. Please heed the warnings from your local officials and emergency management agencies. If you're in an evacuation zone, you need to leave. For everyone else, stay indoors, away from windows, and monitor official news sources for the latest updates. This is a dangerous storm, and its impacts will be severe. We urge everyone to stay safe and look out for one another. And as always, we invite you to subscribe for the latest updates on this developing story and share your thoughts or questions on hurricane preparedness below.